I'm Adeline. It's so nice to meet you. For those new and returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart looking at the personal planets, signs, aspects, and house overlays if we have times available. I also add my insights and interpretations along the way, and feel free to leave your own in the comments below. Before we start this reading, give this video a like and subscribe for more celebrity Synastry chart readings every week. And let's get into it. Starting off with the sun, we have Ariana's sun in Cancer and Abel's sun in Aquarius. Abel thinks Ariana is clingy, considering they have worked together, or maybe Ariana was the one who really initiated that. Abel unintentionally hurts Ariana, and Abel has difficulty fulfilling Ariana. They have contrasting lifestyles, and Abel is detached and Ariana is attached. Ariana's sun in Abel's 12th house. They are different people. There is an atmosphere of mystery. Marriage is not possible. I mean, quite reasonable. I don't believe they ever were in a relationship. They do seem to just be work colleagues as far as I'm aware. They don't understand each other. They have no idea why they're together. Like, I guess at the time they were making music together, they both were very much like at their peak #1. Ariana finds Abel unpredictable. Potentially, this is very random, just considering how we saw how Abel had difficulty fulfilling Ariana, and also what we saw unintentionally hurts Ariana. Potentially, maybe he kind of takes a hit on her career. I'm not sure. Maybe some statistics would reflect that. But I'm not sure what else this could indicate. That just came to my mind. Ariana sees Abel as exotic and strange. Ariana feels Abel doesn't approve of her. Ariana is attracted to Abel against her judgment. Oh no. Relationship requires a lot of patience. So potentially maybe there is something to do with like signing contracts or something that does take a while. Potentially maybe from Abel's end, as we saw. Abel's sun in Ariana's 2nd house overlaid. Marriage is not possible. I love how we see this again consecutively. Ariana is a valuable asset to Abel. Ariana may feel used. Okay. Ariana senses Abel wants something more. Both may be working towards a common goal, literally working on a song together. Abel sees Ariana as someone who can help him achieve goals. That's very interesting, and like I guess another perspective from this is potentially like this could be Abel, but also in a way it could be The Weeknd's team. Ariana's sun conjunct Abel's Jupiter. It's a friendship and they're a lucky couple. Definitely. I mean, their songs all together have been pretty successful. It's an optimistic meeting and there's healthy competition. I'm sure like even outside of their song collaborations, they would definitely be competitive with each other. Enjoy travel together and they are open with each other. They have lots of faith in each other. I'm sure they do, because they had quite a few song collaborations from what I can remember. So I'm sure they would have a lot of that faith and trust in each other that they will make the other successful and money. Overindulgence can happen easily and benefit of the doubt is commonplace. Ariana's sun opposite The Weeknd's Uranus. Separation occurs. It's an exciting relationship. Their relationship starts quickly. Ariana finds Abel to be insensitive. I assume this would be going to how she feels used in this relationship and doesn't feel very fulfilled here. Ariana feels burdened and Abel will likely feel trapped by Ariana over time. Interesting. Abel's sun square Ariana's Venus. Their views on the world clash and it's not as promising as it looks. I'm seeing that in terms of, although they do seem very successful, you know, their songs were very popular all over the place together. And from what we're seeing here, you know, it seems like there is an element of Abel not being very reliable. It seems, you know, she's the one that is, I guess, bringing success because Abel seems to use her in that way. So in terms of it looks successful, but probably behind the scenes, it's probably chaotic. Love can easily turn into hate and they have arguments over money. Yeah, as I said, there does seem to be that element of like, I guess on Abel's side, potentially like contracts taking time or whatever, like he's taking it very like a date school and not taking it very seriously, I guess. And like, it seems like Ariana is the one putting more the work into this, if that makes sense. Abel is selfishly ambitious, yeah. Ariana strives to keep the relationship balanced and both hope to find what they are looking for in the other. Abel's sun opposite Ariana's Mars. Sparks fly. Ariana is defensive. They both assert independence. They compete with each other, we see again. And they get annoyed with each other. I definitely see this on Ariana's end. Abel's sun conjunct Ariana's Saturn. Abel is resentful of Ariana. Interesting. They need to make time for fun. They can overcome obstacles together and relationship strengthens over the years. They're able to depend on each other, and Ariana needs to learn to stop being so critical. Ariana can be threatened by Abel's individuality, interest, I guess, for the competition, because they are kind of in the same field. It's not like a completely different field where they're not really competing. Like, they are both massive people in the mainstream music scene. Ariana has a tendency to repress Abel. Abel's vitality diminishes after being with Ariana. Yikes. Abel needs to learn to not be so sensitive to criticism, and both feel they can have a stable relationship. I see that, because if you're making lots of money together, it's like, surely there's some kind of potential here. Abel's Sun squared Ariana's Pluto. Love-hate, we're seeing again. They have a strong magnetic connection, which I do see. Like, you know, their music does seem to be very harmonious. It doesn't feel unnatural. Want to learn everything about the other. Both need to learn not to focus on their ego. It's transformative. I'm sure, I don't think it would have been like the greatest change in either of their careers, but I'm sure it did help. Possibility to encourage the other's negative qualities. There's power struggles, possibility of an unhealthy obsession with the other. That's weird. I don't like this. Both experience emotions they never felt before in a relationship. I mean, in terms of, I don't think either of them have as regular collabs with other people. As far as I know, they both want to be dominant. So now it's time for moon. We have Ariana's moon in Libra and The Weeknd's moon in Scorpio. Abel may be subtly dominating. I guess where the power struggles come in. Like, if both want to be dominant, we're already seeing that Abel's a bit more dominating. Abel likely provokes trouble. And we're seeing that, which is weird. Ariana's superficiality does not impress Abel. I wonder, because we did see in the beginning they have no idea why they are together. Potentially he does see her as this very like superficial, very poppy girl. Like, he is kind of in pop, but also like not really. Ariana doesn't understand Abel's dark needs. This could link to, you know, The Weeknd does have some more like darker themes in his work. Definitely compared to Ariana, his music can be a bit darker than hers. So potentially she also doesn't really understand his music. Ariana's moon in Abel's 4th house overlaid. It's love-hate. We keep seeing this. There's conflicting feelings, and they both feel deeply bonded to each other, maybe through a contract. I mean, because so far we haven't really seen anything. Like, I mean, we did see they have that stronger connection with each other, but besides of that, not really. I guess we'll see more. They are competitive like siblings, we see again. Ariana may feel like a parent to Abel. So maybe Ariana does kind of like step into that role of like, you know, showing and like helping Abel out with this industry. Both feel the need to spend time apart. Abel's moon in Ariana's 10th house overlaid. It's a neutral relationship. Abel feels uneasy around Ariana, I guess with the whole criticism thing. View each other as a trophy. Not surprisingly so, I guess. There's practical reasons for this relationship. Yeah. Abel feels Ariana is selfish. Interesting. Ariana's moon trine Abel's Mercury. They are comfortable talking to each other about everything. There definitely is that element of they want to tell each other. I think we did see they want to get to know about everything about the other. Harmonious relationship. Abel enjoys being emotionally nourished by Ariana. Yikes! What? That's weird considering we just saw that she feels like a parent to him. Abel provides a foundation for Ariana's feelings, and Ariana is comfortable expressing her feelings of Abel. Which I think is a good thing. Probably helps them, you know, write music. Potentially does help them make music together. Ariana's moon square Abel's Mars. Stormy relationship. Both will need to work out issues as they come. I think this definitely applies to these people because here big money is involved and contracts are involved and musical like producers are involved. They're kind of forced to. If they have an issue, it's kind of forced to be dealt with immediately. Abel doesn't have the patience to connect with Ariana's feelings. Interesting. Emotional roller coaster, they're very reactive to each other. Resentment can grow. Possibility for codependency. I mean, if they keep relying on each other for collabs, that's the only way I would see it. Hard to relax together, and Abel's independence makes Ariana feel insecure. Would Ariana be like jealous? Because we keep seeing this competitive element, and like where else would they be competitive with their careers? Would his like growth and like success make her insecure? Now for the intermission, this video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized synastry readings on my Etsy store, both basic and detailed. The basic one is very simple to understand. It's not overwhelming at all. It's pretty good for those that are beginners to astrology, just getting the head around astrology, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed one is just like what I do on my channel, just a lot of insight and interpretation on your chart. So if you are interested in that and everything else astrology and tarot related, readings and gifts, then definitely check out my Etsy store. Links are below. I'm always releasing new things, so definitely check it out if you're interested. You can even just favorite the store just to show your support for free. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the reading. Ariana's moon square Abel's Jupiter. Tendency to be extreme and excessive. I think we did see that overindulgence can be a problem. Judgment can lead to trouble. They are too optimistic as a couple. I think we did see how before that it's not as promising as it looks. So related to that, I'm sure. They both feel free with their emotions. Relationship about determining boundaries. There's a failing to keep promises, I assume related to when we saw in the beginning with Abel not being very reliable, I'm pretty sure it was. They both will learn better judgment and they meet in an optimistic way. I'm sure they did. Like, it seems like this is very much like a colleague type relationship. I think very reflective of the fact that they are singers and they're here to make money together. Ariana may become possessive of Abel. Ariana does have a weird thing with him, doesn't he? Like, has this like sort of parent dynamic with him. She's possessive of him, we're seeing now, and also jealous of him. Like, it's a bit weird. Potentially maybe very into doing collabs with him. Ariana's moon square Abel's Uranus. Ariana is possessive of Abel, we see again. Relationship can begin suddenly, which I think we did see before, and I think it makes sense. Like, they're brought into a room together, make this music together, pretty sudden to me. Ariana feels emotionally insecure around Abel, which I think makes sense because we did see how Abel isn't really patient to connect with Ariana. Ariana's moon square Abel's Neptune, misunderstand each other's signals. I think there does seem to be some issue with their like business discussions is what I'm seeing in this reading, and that keeps coming up. Possibility of neglecting each other. It's a confusing relationship. I mean, yeah, I'm confused of why Ariana feels the way she does, if anything. Ariana is unsure of Abel's intentions. I guess that ends it for me, kind of. I mean, still, like, even if you are unsure of, suspicious of someone's intentions, I feel like it's still a bit, yeah. Difficulty maintaining relationship, and Ariana is sensitive to Abel's moods. Abel's moon opposite Ariana's Venus. They both learn balance and harmony. It's easy to take each other for granted. I'm sure it is. Living beyond means occurs. We see again overindulgence. Will not appreciate each other sometimes. Yeah, we've seen that. Abel may feel undervalued or misunderstood by Ariana. I assume misunderstood because I think Ariana seems to very much see the potential, or I guess appreciates that he is this massive person, and she seems to be jealous of that. So I'm leaning towards the misunderstood bit. Compromise needs to happen, yeah. Ariana gets confused of Abel's emotions. I guess relating back, she doesn't understand why he has these dark feelings, I'm pretty sure we did see. Abel sees Ariana as narcissistic and seductive, kind of whoa. I mean, I guess how we did see that he sees her as a bit more superficial, I believe it was, that kind of lines up. Ariana sees Abel as childish and needy, potentially why she feels the need to kind of be more of a parent, which could be subconscious. It's not like she's, oh, I need a mother and parent this person. Abel's moon sextile Ariana's Uranus. It's not a boring relationship and they share common eccentric friends. I'm sure they do. Talk about social and political issues. Mutual friends may bring them together, which wouldn't surprise me. If they are both in the music industry, I'm sure that would happen, you know. Even potentially like some producers they have in common. Abel creates a loving environment for Ariana. This is what's interesting because we've seen this already the second time, this specific thing, where Abel will create this sort of nice environment. I believe we did see that he kind of opens up a space for Ariana to express her feelings and whatever, even though he doesn't seem to necessarily do it, which makes me think potentially he does create a good environment for them to like express themselves in music. I think we have seen this in the previous readings with The Weeknd where He seems to be very much focused on expressing his feelings through music rather than any other way of like talking or anything. Abel's moon sextile Ariana's Neptune. Art is a shared interest, not surprisingly so. They sense each other's feelings and they understand each other. I'm sure they do it in a musical sense, like if like the whole thing with Abel creating a good environment for Ariana, if that is what it is, it makes sense that in a musical sense they very much get along with each other. But outside of that can be difficult, which is where misunderstandings may happen. Abel's moon conjunct Ariana's Pluto. They work through past relationships together. I'm sure they've created music about other people with each other. Immense spiritual growth we see again. It's not a superficial relationship and Abel can become needy of Ariana. Easy for them to talk about darker and deeper subjects. I'm sure it is for Abel through music. Ariana may see Abel as too sensitive and they share a strong mental connection. Subconsciously need each other and can make great wealth together. So I guess there is a reason why they collaborate so much together in music. I don't know if there is anyone else that has collaborated that much together at the top of my head anyway. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Ariana's Mercury in Cancer and Abel's Mercury in Aquarius. There's conflict between Abel's detachment and Ariana's attachment. Ariana can be impatient with Abel. Ariana can be impatient with Abel's excessive analysis. Interesting. Ariana's Mercury in Abel's first house overlaid. Ariana can easily express herself to Abel, which we have been seeing, which is nice. Abel finds it easy to understand Ariana. Abel feels more talkative around Ariana. Abel's Mercury in Ariana's first house overlaid, and this is a repeated inverted sign, so Abel can easily express himself to Ariana. Ariana feels more talkative around Abel, and she finds it easy to understand Abel. So I feel like these two just really emphasize the whole like music making together. They feel very comfortable expressing that to each other. Ariana's Mercury opposite Abel's Venus. Abel feels Ariana doesn't consider his feelings. Was it Abel that for Ariana was the selfish one? Because I feel like that would line up, because we have seen how Ariana kind of feels emotionally insecure around Abel. But if she's kind of expecting that all for herself but doesn't do it for Abel in return, I guess that's how Abel would kind of view her as selfish emotionally. Both feel the other is self-centered, intellectually stimulating relationship. They have contrasting ideas and they cut each other off. I'm sure they would. You know, they're making music together all day, you know. Drawn to each other's differences. Conversations can become a source of conflict. It seems so. It seems there are a bit of touchy things for these two. Relationship of banter. I definitely I want to skew this a bit like that sort of back and forth, like sort of like bouncing off of each other sort of vibe. I would see that, which is potentially, I'm sure it is a big reason why they can make music together. Need to learn to listen to each other for sure. They have difference in interests and Ariana can help Abel intellectually, and I'm sure I want to skew this a bit again, sort of can help Abel intellectually and navigate the music industry. Abel's Mercury, Trine Ariana's Jupiter. Ariana is enthusiastic about Abel's thoughts. That's kind of nice. It's unfortunate she seems to feel a bit insecure about it though. Enjoy traveling together. I'm pretty sure we see again they are good traveling together, so positive and inspiring conversations. There's a strong friendship. Optimistic meeting we see again. Ariana introduces Abel to new ways of thinking, so I definitely see that element. Ariana seems to have helped Abel a lot throughout this industry. Ariana can be too lenient with Abel. Business together is advantageous. Abel helps Ariana with self-expression. Again, going back to how he seems to create that sort of safe environment for Ariana to really express herself in music. They come from different cultures, which we did see how Ariana sees The Weeknd as exotic and strange. So now it's time for Venus. We have Ariana's Venus in Taurus and The Weeknd's Venus in Capricorn. These are both earth signs. Interested in the differences. This seems to be a strong element in this relationship, doesn't it? Share common goals and values. Agree on how to spend money. So I assume, because we did see, I might be going back and forth with this, but we were seeing how there can be a bit of iffiness and some messiness, especially on Abel's end with actually making deals, it seems like. That's how I interpret it anyway. So potentially they do generally agree on what to do with each other, especially budget-wise, financial-wise. It does just take time to get there. I hope I made sense there. Comfortable and safe relationship. I'm sure it seems like in the studio it's very good. Abel likely wears the pants, definitely emotionally. Abel sees Ariana as too complacent. Interesting. Ariana's Venus in Abel's 11th house. Ariana immediately likes Abel. They are comfortable with each other. Abel senses he can be himself around Ariana. They are both open with each other. I'm pretty sure we see again. Both share the same social activities and hobbies. I wouldn't really be surprised. They are both in very similar places in life. They are good friends. Abel's Venus in Ariana's first house. Abel is attracted to Ariana. This doesn't have to be in like a physical or more than friends kind of way. He could potentially be like attracted to sort of like the power that Ariana has in the industry, the connections she may have, and all of that sort of thing. Abel enjoys being seen with Ariana. What did I just say? In that sort of way, I'm sure he's very attracted to that. Ariana is flattered by Abel. Ariana over time may not appreciate the shallow admiration, probably how they do see each other as a bit more self-centered. Abel doesn't pay attention to the regular Ariana. I see this in terms of Abel not really paying attention to Ariana outside of music, because it seems like he creates a very good environment for them to make music together. He's the real instigator of that. So I'm sure in the studio when they're making music together, they're very connected, but it seems like outside of that, it doesn't seem to transfer that sort of really great quality relationship outside of the studio. So potentially that part of that is Abel just doesn't really care about Ariana outside of the music sense, if that makes sense. The Venus signs are Trine together, so they enjoy each other's company and they share a mutual community. We see again, and not surprisingly so, appreciate how the other dresses, handles money and socializes, and they both have a desire to make the other happy. Ariana's Venus, Trine Abel's Saturn. Abel stabilizes Ariana's emotions. I see that. Strong commitment through their contracts, I'm sure it would be. They sacrifice for each other. Interesting. See relationship as everlasting. They help each other in career. This whole reading. Ariana admires Abel's strength. Ariana's Venus opposite Abel's Pluto. Fine line between love and hate. That has returned. Intense fear of losing each other. Interesting. Like, they really do see this as very, like, a lot of longevity they feel it is. Which isn't surprising. I'm sure they'll make music together again a lot. Power struggles and manipulation. We did see a hint of power struggles in the beginning, I believe it was, but we haven't seen it too much since then. Staying together is challenging. I mean, we did see how they do need to take time from each other. Abel's dominance frustrates Ariana. Yeah, the only time we did see that either of these two were dominant, it was Abel, so I'm not surprised. If there is that power struggle dynamic where both of them want to be dominant, but it seems like Abel is the one with the true dominance, that would frustrate Ariana, I'm sure. Abel is okay with manipulating Ariana to keep her. Abel's Venus conjunct Ariana's Uranus. Instant attraction, again, doesn't have to be in the sense of, you know, the physical attractiveness or anything like that. They share unusual interest. Abel is attracted to Ariana's unpredictability. The initial attraction fades. I guess if they do see the initial image and they're both like, I want a piece of that, like, I would love to get in on the success. The success is amazing to me, blah, 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 whatever, related to that. And then you actually get together. I'm sure it would be different because I'm sure masks are taken off when you are actually working. Abel's Venus conjunct Ariana's Neptune. Abel is sensitive to Ariana's needs. Dreamy energy when they meet, so very much a very optimistic, like really mystical meeting they had. Abel finds Ariana very attractive, so we do see this already a few times. So potentially, like, I feel like I'm leaning towards the more like attracted to her success, but if we have seen this a few times, potentially maybe he is physically attracted to her. It's not a practical relationship. I have to debunk that. Abel projects his ideals onto Ariana. It can be a spiritual magical relationship. We do see the spiritual bit again. Ariana initially encourages Abel to have an idolized image of her. Over time, Ariana feels pressure to keep up with Abel's image of her. Yikes. Ariana may ghost Abel. Interesting. Abel needs to learn to look past Ariana's faults. Abel appreciates Ariana's imagination, and Ariana is easily charmed by Abel. Abel's Venus sextile Ariana's Pluto. Unlikely to go stale in routine. It's an emotionally fulfilling relationship. I'm sure in a sense it is. Ariana does seem to be a bit more emotionally insecure, but I assume because Abel doesn't, you know, translate that sort of emotional, like being emotionally in tune outside of the studio, you know? Both see disagreements as a way to understand the person more. That is something I appreciate in this relationship. Like, they do seem to both really actually want to know each other. I guess, like, outside of Abel kind of having this initial idolized image of Ariana. So now it's time for Mars. We have Ariana's Mars in Virgo and Abel's Mars in Capricorn. These are both earth signs. They maintain their independence. Yeah, they do. I would say they do. They're not like really attached to each other. They tend to be critical of each other. We saw this on Ariana's end earlier. Practical relationship. Abel helps Ariana be less anxious. So he seems to really be a sort of like calming force and sort of helping Ariana to sort of stabilize those emotions, as we literally saw before. Ariana encourages Abel to experiment more. I assume with music. Ariana's Mars in Abel's second house. Ariana triggers Abel's possessiveness. Ariana is patient with Abel. Abel is more materialistic in this relationship. If he is around such a big successful like singer or artist, you would kind of become a bit more materialistic once you start collaborating with them because you're thinking of the money and everything. Ariana treats Abel as an object, yikes. Ariana is sentimental with Abel, and Abel tends to be more masculine in this relationship. Interesting. Abel's Mars in Ariana's 12th house. Ariana feels uncomfortable around Abel. I assume this would be either her feeling insecure around him, but maybe she does feel challenged when Abel is challenging her to sort of stabilize her emotions and project her emotions in a positive musical way. Abel feels drained by Ariana. Abel brings out a hidden side of Ariana. Relationship formed from having to protect one another. Ariana wants to protect Abel. Yeah, we have been seeing that sort of element. Ariana does feel very sort of like attached to Abel in that sense, wanting to nurture him and protect him. Ariana sees the more fragile part of Abel, which is probably why she may feel a bit more like, you know, I need to take care of you sort of thing. Ariana's Mars sextile Abel's Jupiter. Abel encourages Ariana to assert her independence. Ariana feels more energized by Abel. Encourage each other to engage in controversial behavior. I'm pretty sure we did see earlier how Abel is the one that may be provoking trouble, I think it was. So they're competitive. We see again, it's interesting how they do seem to have this really good collaborative relationship, but at the same time they do seem to have this very competitive side. They have a lot of fun together and they like to try new things together. I think going back to how, because yeah, Ariana encouraging Abel to experiment more. So I assume that's where they would be doing it, like together in the studio, and like Ariana's encouraging him to try new things with her. So that was the final aspect, bringing us to the end of the reading. And definitely share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your interpretations on these ones. I always am very curious to see what you guys have to say about these more like colleague, work, platonic relationships. And if you have made it this far, please consider subscribing. I post these readings weekly. And besides that, give this video a like and I will see you guys next time. Bye!